tuned into.
The views, opinions, and representations expressed on the Night Dreams Talk Radio Network and its website are those of the hosts, guests, and participants, and are not necessarily those of or endorsed by the network, its affiliated stations and broadcasts, the management, other hosts, or advertisers of the network. The shows found on the Night Dreams Talk Radio Network can, but do not necessarily, promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only, and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and or claim any cure of disease or condition, or give any medical or legal advice. You are listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio Network, from our compound to you worldwide, with your host, Gary Anderson.
Hey, that is me. I'm trying to figure out where summer is. I mean, it started out good in, about May. June, it was okay. July was so-so. August is maybe a couple hot days. And, they're saying that this climate change, is affecting and is causing the world to be hotter than ever. But what is happening down here at Gig Harbor, down at the compound? I don't know. 64 degrees today down at the compound. It doesn't even feel like spring. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to be talking about, monsters and, slasher movies and TV shows with Nick Centers right after this.
Do you have a paranormal story you want to share on Night Dreams Talk Radio? You could be a guest. Email us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. If you would like to hear Night Dreams Talk Radio on your local radio station, let them know. Tell them to check out www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. And thank you.
Coming to you from some far point station, like a cosmic tumbleweed, both north and south of the Pleiades. Here's your host, Gary Anderson.
Boy, that thunder tonight. It's horrible out there. No, it's not true. Anyway, Nick, my friend, how you doing?
You know what? I'm doing great. How are you tonight?
I am alive, and guess what? If I'm alive, I'm happy.
That's the way it should be.
Oh, yeah. So we were talking just a few minutes ago about, one of the favorite zombie TV shows that I feel like they kind of now don't really have any much more of a plot left. And I got a funny feeling maybe their spin-offs will last for a while, but I don't think it's going to last anywhere as near as long as The Walking Dead has. But what do you think of the future of zombies on TV?
The future of zombies on TV. I feel like the zombie genre is starting to die down quite a bit. I feel that all the scare has gone out of it, especially with TV shows that make it more about the human drama instead of the actual zombie problem. But, you can only do so much with zombies, too.
Yeah, well, you know what I can't figure out on that show is, you remember 21 Days? It was made in the UK, maybe 15 years ago. But, the zombies, after 21 days, they started dying off with starvation and stuff like this. These zombies here on, this show, they seem like they come out of the ocean. They come out of rivers. They come out of being buried underground for who knows how long. And they don't seem to die off other than if somebody, puts something in their brain, what little brain they have. I don't know how they can survive. And I think that's one of their weak plots on the show.
Right, and scientifically that wouldn't be possible because with the weather in a lot of areas that would promote a really speedy decay and they would just kind of fall apart.
Yeah.
It would be maybe 6 weeks tops and the zombie apocalypse is over.
Yeah, at least when they made the 21-day movie, they considered it, They showed up the zombies after 21 days. They all pretty much shriveled up and died of, starvation. And these ones just keep going and going like a Timex watch. And I think, without some type of plot of ending to it, I don't know. I don't know what the writers are coming up with or the ideas of it. But to me, I think it's done its path, and they should just bury it now, and instead of dragging it out any longer.
Well, the zombies have become more of a plot device than a focus. It's like, they're there in the background, and then when we run out of the human things to say, they start shooting zombies again. So, I mean, the show, I feel like it's run its course. No offense to the fans of the show, not a bit. It's just, I feel like that particular show has run its course. Do I think the spinoffs will last a bit longer? Possibly. But I don't think those are going to be on quite that many seasons.
I don't. My feeling, maybe a couple more seasons and that it's just going to be gone. I don't know. I could be totally wrong, but I was a big fan of The Walk. I couldn't wait to get home. I dropped everything to get home to watch it. And then when they did the replay, I made sure I watched the replay, and when they talked about it, in between the original, night episode, they had their little talk about it. They had maybe one of the stars on. I couldn't wait to get to that. But then after a couple of years, it was like, why bother? Now, I don't even know. Is Z Nation still on, or is it just reruns now on Sci-Fi?
I think it's actually in reruns now. Because actually, I think I was in Walmart earlier and saw the complete series on DVD.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure we're in reruns.
Yeah, that shows you how much I was even watching that. But I don't know which one was stupider, to be honest with you.
I don't know. I kind of like the cheese in Z Nation, though.
It had humor to it, at least.
It did. I have a soft spot for cheesy things in horror movies, so that to me was some gold there in the midst of the monotony, that we did have some humor.
And on top of it, it was filmed in my own state, so that that's a big shout out to them.
That is pretty awesome.
Oh yeah. I always wanted to go there when they were filming, but I just never had the time, just to see what, how they did it and stuff like that. What do you see it's going to be happening in the coming year or so on TV, on slasher horror type movies?
I feel that they're going to start moving to more of maybe a cerebral genre. I mean, we've got already, there's a Scream TV series. The Purge has become a TV series. And it's all semi-realistic things. Like, I mean, the Purge could happen. It's possible. And it's something that everybody's afraid of. So we've moved to a more integral cerebral plot line, as opposed to, the zombie plot line.
Oh, yeah.
This has become more of a things that go bump in the night kind of thing, but you turn around and there's somebody there with a knife instead of somebody that wants to eat your brain.
Oh, yeah. Now, for the listeners out there that don't know what The Purge is, can you explain a little bit about it? Your interpretation?
All right, so my interpretation of The Purge, the plot line's pretty cool. The government's decided that to control the population, all crime's legal for one night a year. And that includes murder, anything that anybody could possibly get away with. And to me, that's absolutely a terrifying prospect, because, people these days and the things that go on in the social climate, things like that, if that were actually legal for one night, that would be a scary scenario.
Oh, yeah, it would be. Can you imagine? You forgot what day it is because you're getting at that age where you don't remember that well, and you're out walking your dog. Oh, boy, I wouldn't want to be walking that dog that night.
Right.
I'd have my wife do it, actually. I'm sorry, Linda. That was a cheap joke, and I want to apologize to my wife. I'd actually have her. I would actually have her sister walk the dog. But,
they might get you, man. They might get you.
Yeah, but can you imagine one night a year where, people could bust in your house, shoot the whole family or whatever they're going to do, blow up cars, and if I remember right, they had a couple movies of that too. So, I mean, something like that, maybe in the future, who knows, like 50 or 100 years ago, from now, I should say, could be something that might happen. Who knows?
Yeah, and I hope they have the common sense for that not to be a thing, because the whole scenario with that movie is it stops at a certain time the next morning. Like, all that stops. Everything becomes legal again. Everybody goes back to work. Everybody goes and does what they normally do. The problem with this is if we started doing it as a people today, I don't think it would stop with the sirens.
No, I think actually it would continue on and on and on. That people would get out of control really fast.
Right, right.
So what other TV shows and movies do you think it's going to be really popular this coming year? You think Jason and all that type of movies are going to come back and have the scare impact as they did when they originally came out?
I would love to see a new Friday the 13th. However, I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon, because that whole thing is wrapped up in some sort of lawsuit between Victor Miller and Sean Cunningham, which were the creator of the original Friday the 13th and the director. And I don't think we're going to get a Friday the 13th for a good long time. Sadly, I think they're cheating the fans more than anything else, just because of the dollar.
I agree with that. Now, you go to Scare Fest and you're part of it. I mean, who dresses up the majority? Is it more like zombies, or is it more like, a Freddy Krueger type of thing?
We see a plethora of costumes there, actually. It's not exactly one more than the other. I mean, I've seen Skeletor at Scarefest. I mean, there's a plethora of costumes. Michael Myers is a popular one. I've seen some Pennywise. I've seen a lot of Jason Voorhees. The list goes on and on and on, and I love every single one of them.
Interesting. So, I don't know. Of all the movies out there, the slasher type or zombie or whatever, what was your most favorite and why?
My most favorite, honestly, I can go back to a favorite, and it wasn't really even a slasher film. God forbid stellar parenting, but when I was 4 years old, I was introduced to Jaws.
Oh, yes.
Scared me to death at age 4. But gonna go ahead and tell you that I still have a very soft spot for that film.
Well, do you know how many people, when that first came out, the original Jaws, when that came out, they all of a sudden boycotted going to the ocean? To go swim or, go near the shore and wade in the waves. I mean, it really had impact.
It did, and I watched a documentary about that a few months ago, actually, and it got way out of control. People were actually starting to kill sharks.
I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I mean, at one point, they were trying to kill every shark they could get, and some of the sharks are not man-eaters; they're actually beneficial. A lot of people don't realize that some sharks are scavengers. They clean off the ocean bottom of, other dead and decaying, fish and stuff.
Right. And most sharks actually aren't man-eaters. Funny thing about that,